All right, 2023, and of course, INEC and insecurity threat, the implications that have to do with smooth conduct of the general elections. To join me on this segment is Oluwole Osaze Uze. He's a former director of INEC and voter education, and of course, legal services. We're privileged to have him join us live here in the studio here in Benin City. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. All right, now let's quickly start up the discussion. The election is 25th of next month. We got an information yesterday, to an extent, though it has been debunked anyway as of this morning, that the elections may not hold because of the security threats that might be happening in some part of the country. Do you think such information was needed at this point?
Well, that it will hold or that will not hold.
That it may not hold.
Well, the initial information came out from a meeting that hosted by, I think it's the Electoral Institute, and somebody represented the INEC chairman and said that, look, although it was blown out of proportion, that insecurity is a threat to the holding of elections, and that is the fact. Nobody can dispute that. And it's a fact that has serious consequences for the smooth conduct of the elections, because the law has provided for where insecurity is so widespread that either you cannot hold in certain places or you cannot hold. There are certain consequences of that. Yes, it's important it should come out now because apart from general insecurity, you'll find out that general insecurity impacts on the elections. But there's also a new dimension to the insecurity, which includes the targeting of INEC facilities and INEC infrastructure.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, so you recall that in the southwest and in the southeast, several INEC facilities and offices were attacked. Not only were they vandalized, card readers, PVCs, permanent voter cards were removed. So all these things constitute a threat. Furthermore, if there's general insecurity, the reality is that elections may not hold in certain places. And the Electoral Act considers that, realizes that that can happen, and has made provision for that. But even if you try to hold elections in the face of insecurity, there are consequences. People will be very reluctant to turn out for such elections. You know that everybody loves their life, and if you think your life is threatened by general insecurity, by gunmen running wild, you will not go out to vote. It will be difficult to recruit officials,
Absolutely.
especially members of the National Youth Service Corps. Very difficult to get them. Most parents, most guardians will not want their wards to go out to be part of the election if they consider if there's a real and present danger of them. So it has a negative impact on the process, so that you cannot recruit personnel who conduct elections. The university lecturers who are used as returning officers and collation officers may be hesitant to come out. Voters will be hesitant to come out. You as the media, you will not, apart these days we see people embedded in war zones and things like that, but generally the average reporter will not want to go out, no responsible institution. Yes, we want to go out where the staff are in danger of being harmed or killed. So these are some of the negative impacts that
so let's quickly go back to some of the attacks on the INEC facilities in the past. Well, what is the implications as far as the elections is concerned? You talked about some of the sensitive materials that may be carted away with. Do you think such materials will find their way back into the system in the elections?
Well, first of all, I mentioned the PVCs, permanent voter cards. If you take away those cards, it will take a long time to get those cards reprinted and distributed or collected by the holders of those cards. So that is an impact. And then the beavers, most of the beavers, fortunately, I'm not aware that beavers have been destroyed, but when they are destroyed, they can be replaced if it's not so close to the elections. These are not things you go and pick off the shelf. They have to be manufactured. The original equipment manufacturers have to manufacture these things, and it takes turnaround. It takes time. They're not manufactured locally either. They're designed locally, but not manufactured locally. So it will take time to replace these things. So those things constitute a threat, and you must have enough beavers machines, because without the beavers, that's the bimodal voter accreditation system. Without that beavers, elections cannot hold, because the law says that INEC should use a technological device, a smart card reader, or any other technological device to accredit voters. So you have to be accredited electronically. And if that is not there, then elections cannot hold. In fact, the law says that if the beavers is not working at a particular polling unit, then after 2 p.m., you suspend the election and come back the next day to acquire a new beavers that can take care of that. So that shows the importance of that beavers machine. So that beavers must be there. So if you destroy enough beavers, the elections cannot hold in particular localities.
Now, as a top official in the INEC, as a former top official, how prepared do you think the INEC are currently? Looking at all the measures that have been put in place, I know to an extent insecurity is one of a major setback for them. But how prepared do you think INEC?
Well, I am no longer part of the institution, but I follow its activities very closely. And from all indications, the indices that you use to measure preparedness, it will appear that it's quite prepared. Last year, I think it was February or April last year, the Commission issued a timetable and schedule of activities. And I'm aware that they are very much on course. Most of the activities have been accomplished within the time frame stipulated in that timetable and schedule of activities. So, yes, the collection of voter PVCs is ongoing. Thereafter, those are the major things. Thereafter, what is left, apart from the actual conduct of the polls, is the proclamation, the issuance of the final submission of list of polling agents by the political parties. That's an activity of the political parties. So they have agents that within 2 weeks of the elections, they must submit, not later than 2 weeks of the election, they must submit that. So basically, it will appear everything is quite set.
Well, to an extent, some Nigerians still feel that since it's a continuous voters registration process,
yes,
the time frame INEC actually gave to stop the voters registration was not really in place. It was about 3 months to the election. Some Nigerians are still not really okay with that idea. But currently, let's look at the PVC collections. There seems to be some kind of hurdles concerning that. If you go to some centers where PVCs are supposed to be collected, you still find people queuing up, and these PVCs are not available. Don't you think it's going to hamper the process next year? Next month?
2 things. First of all, you're talking of satisfaction of certain citizens about the CVR, conduct voter registration.
Yes.
If you're not satisfied with it, change the law. You change the system. INEC has stuck with the law. The law sets timelines for doing all these things. So it's not enough to grumble or to go on social media or to go on media and complain. Go to your representatives who make laws and say, look, we're not satisfied with this. Next time we have to change the law. It's as simple as that. So if you don't change the law, INEC as an institution created by the Constitution must, the rule of law says all of us must obey the law. You cannot circumvent the law. If it's not, you don't obey laws according to your convenience. You obey laws because they set standards and examples to be followed. If those laws are oppressive, if those laws are not meeting the desired intention, then there's a process.
So you have
to
the
change the law.
As a citizen, we have the right to redress this in the courts.
I say you change the law. You change the statute by going to the State Assembly or National Assembly. This is the National Assembly.
Okay.
If you feel aggrieved, you can only change it by going to court if the institution has acted contrary to the law. But you cannot go to court and ask the court to declare that the decision should act contrary to the law. It will not be done. So it's only when there's a breach of the present legal position that you can actually go to court or you seek redress. You only seek redress for a wrong done to you that is not in accordance with the law or the Constitution. As to collection of PVCs, the most amazing thing, first of all, is that collection of PVCs has been ongoing for a long time. Long time. You know, the announcement of collection dealt with those who had the more recently registered people whose cards are ready. For certain reasons, certain cards may not be printed for whatever technical reasons they might have. I hope
we should expect such.
It's a human endeavor. Any human endeavor, there will be lapses, and it should not be. And I hope that the percentage of that is extremely low. And if you go there and your card is not there, you fill the form, or they fill the form, they take your particulars and escalate it to the headquarters, and the form and your card will be printed and subsequently sent before the election. That is the architecture for missing cards.
Okay, let's quickly dive into the elections. That is just a few weeks away. Yes. 25th of next month is the deed.
That's the presidential and the National Assembly. 2 weeks after that,
we'll have the other part.
Correct.
Okay, now let's now look at the presidential candidates.
Yes.
What form or what shape do you think this election will take from your point of view, looking at all the presidential candidates that we have on the ballots?
Well, I'm not allowed to judge competences of presidential candidates. So when you say what form, I'm a bit confused.
Considering previous elections that was held in the country, considering previous election, as someone that have been a stakeholder in the INEC, what form, from the INEC's point of view, do you think this election will take?
It will take the form prescribed by the law.
Okay.
Just like we had in 2015, like we had in 2019, that we've had all through the years since the promulgation of the 1999 Constitution. It's been well laid out. On election day, after they appointed their agents in every polling unit, if they so desire, the 24 hours to the election, they must stop their campaigns. They will go there like every other citizens. If they desire to vote, they go there and vote. And the law will take its course. If the person who scores the majority of lawful votes cast and has 25% in at least 2/3 of the states will be declared as president by the Chief Electoral Commissioner, who is the chairman of INEC. He will declare on the results we collated, and if somebody misses the threshold, he will be declared as president of the country.
Okay, so let's quickly see. You are a legal practitioner.
Yes.
And legally, we are yet to see any form of litigation against those attacking INEC office. Till now, we've not really seen any tangible arrests to an extent. And do you think attack on INEC's facility is politically motivated? Do you think so?
I don't want to speculate as to the motive. As you said, I'm not aware of any arrests or confessions of charge against any of those who attacked facilities. So it's difficult to fathom the reason why they do that. It may be political. I really cannot say. That would be speculative of me. I think we should await, and I hope that the security agencies are alive to their responsibilities and take it very seriously, and I hope that they can apprehend and possibly charge some of these people to court, and maybe they will have their day in court and they will have the ability or opportunity to state why they're undertaking these attacks. What the thinking in some quarters is that it's political, it's coordinated in some states. For example, in the Southwest, 2 different states, 2 different local governments were attacked about the same time, overnight, about the same time. In Imo, the state's office was attacked, several people were killed. Several local government offices were attacked. One particular one had been attacked before, burned down. Arsonists burnt it down. It had just been renovated, just been put back to shape, and within a week, I think the same weekend, a couple of days after, it was again attacked. So that's a pattern. That sounds like a deliberate attempt to do it. What the reason is,
it's a big question that needs serious answer.
Absolutely.
So do you think, to an extent, there's no synergy between the security outfit of the country and the INEC? Do you think there's no synergy between them? Because to an extent, INEC is a vital part of our nation. And as far as the election is concerned, they are like the star boy now of the country. So if they are not well protected, their facilities are not protected, that will be a major concern to Nigerians.
It should be a major concern to anybody, but God forbid if there's continuous attack on the media house, for example, you won't say, oh, is there no synergy between the security agencies and the media house? No, we are victims. INEC is a victim. It's not a question of synergy. The security agents, the police, the security agents are supposed to protect properties, protect human beings and properties. So it's not a question of synergy. It's a duty, constitutional duty of the security agencies to protect all the things, more so for public institutions, public buildings, critical public infrastructure have to be protected. You know, I recall that after some of these attacks, there were promises that all INEC facilities will be have proper security protection and everything else. But sadly, they seem to penetrate these, and perhaps there isn't enough. The next question is, why are they not protected in the way they should be protected? But INEC has at least 774 offices in every local government of the country, has in 36 states, has in Abuja. I don't know how many policemen you have to deploy to each and every of these facilities, or that the security agents have the personnel to also do that, but there are different ways you can ensure these facilities are better protected, even if you cannot deploy men all the time there. You can do patrols, you can do surveillance, you can do intelligence gathering. There are different ways, I think, you can better secure, let me put it that way, better secure, first of all, INEC facilities and INEC properties, but all governments, all public facilities, because you and I, as taxpayers, are the ones ultimately who bear the brunt, who pay for that. But in the meantime, INEC has to meet constitutional deadlines, so any destruction or anything that is likely to disrupt that, it's a threat. It's a threat, absolutely.
Okay, now PVC collection is currently on. Before we let you go, what's your final take on the show? I know people are just itching to hear something that has to do with the PVC collections, and there are some that might have one or two issues why they might not need to get their PVC. What's your advice to them?
What could be the issue why they will not want to get it?
To an extent, some have gone to the collection point, they couldn't get theirs. Someone like me, I've been there 2 times and I can't find mine.
And what was the outcome? What happened?
Well, we were told to come back or go to the next point of collection.
No, they couldn't have said or go. There can't be an alternative. It's where you registered or where you're supposed to pick it up is quite known. And especially if you use the app, so if you use the INEC online processes, it will tell you where you're registered and where you should be collecting your people. Yes, it will tell you that, and then you go physically there.
Okay.
It's disheartening, definitely, for anybody who has taken the pains to go and register and not. In your case, was it a fresh registration or was it a transfer, or what exactly was it?
It was a transfer from Lagos.
From Lagos. Okay, that's a transfer. So you're already in the system, and the system will also tell you whether your transfer was approved and whether it's successful, and how and where to pick it up. It's disheartening for anybody who has undergone that and not.
Consider the time they take to queue up and all that, and they get negative feedback from the INEC staff.
Well, some people queue, some people don't. I recall somebody who we attend the same church in Abuja, and she was asking me, oh, when will you be ready? Can I influence her picking up? I said, no, if it's ready, just go there. If you have any issues, then call me. And when it was ready, they actually sent her a text, and she sent a word to me. I said, please assist me. I said, you go there first. And she went there within less than 10 minutes.
So text message can
that was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's been there. This is for the last batch. This one is the last batch, and for anybody who has not been able to. Some cars have been there since 2011. Okay. Some cars have been there since 2015. Then that is adding up to new ones. I hope they're not disheartened. I hope that to exercise your franchise and even to have it, haven't taken the pains to transfer, to go and queue. Some people queued for hours. Haven't taken those pains. I think it's your right, and you should get it. If for any reason they say it's not there, then ensure they insist that they should follow the protocols. They should give you a form. They should fill the form and escalate it to the issuing authorities in the headquarters, and if it's missing, it can be replaced and will be replaced as well. Unfortunately, there's a deadline for issuance of cars, so it has to be escalated, and lay a complaint if you don't feel you're getting enough. There's the ICCC, the INEC Citizens Contact Center. They're on Facebook, they're on different social media platforms, Twitter, and there's a process for complaint. And you can,
how we can get that handle again, so that
it's on Twitter, INEC Nigeria.
Okay.
If you go to the website, it'll lead you to the INEC Nigeria website.
All right. Thank you so much for taking time to join us on the show. We hope to have you again some other time. All right, we'll quickly take a short break now, and we'll join our other guests so that we'll call it a wrap on This Morning on ITV. Don't go nowhere.